Hi guys and good morning. It's early, but I thought I'll do a little reading vlog and show you how much I read in a day. Today I've got a day off. I don't have that many appointments, so I can really dive into some of my books. And yeah, so let's get going. I like the black iced coffee, so cheers. And let's head to my book nook. This is where all the magic happens. This is kind of where all the magic happens. I desperately need to reorganize it because when I do book talk videos, I sometimes just take my books out and then I'm in a rush and then I put them back in and I'm like, I need to like sort this whole thing out behind me. Considering this is a vlog, why just don't we do it right now? I love this series so much. And I also have this super cool version of Fourth Wing, which is so pretty. Okay, so I feel like I need to have my dark fantasy and my like dark romance and gothic fantasy stuff next to each other. So best series ever. Spark of the Everflame is so good too. It's such a feel-good series that I feel like it can't be next to dark fantasy. It just feels wrong. Okay, so I feel like this feels like a lot better vibe. I tried to put all my like more like gothic dark fantasy stuff on this side, then mix it up again. To be honest, I still need to figure out how to like properly do this. Also, we're moving soon, so I'll have a different bookshelf, which helps a lot because I'm just trying to shove it all in and make it look decent. Time to read, just my favorite part of the day. I'm currently reading Enchantra. I've got this physical book here as well. It's so pretty. These books follow two sisters. It's more of a gothic, dark romantasy. In the first book we follow Ophelia, and in the second book we follow Genevieve. So it's an interconnecting standalone. This one just came out a few days ago. I bought it straight away, but then I actually prefer to sometimes read on my Kindle just because I like to highlight stuff, and then at the end of the book I can just see all the favorite parts that I highlighted. Where if you highlight it in a small book it's fine, but I feel like if you highlight it in like a massive book, to find all the pages that you highlighted is just, here it's like all saved, and I kind of love that. A book like this, if I have time, will take me like not a day even, but I'm on page 319, which is 73% done. There were so many different opinions on this book. Some people said they liked it more than the first one, some people said they liked the first one more than the second one, but so far I have been obsessed with this. I love it because this book basically follows Genevieve, who gets an invitation to go to Enchantra, and she goes because she wants to find out more about her mother's past. Basically she gets to the house and that's where she meets Rowan, who doesn't want to let her in, but she doesn't listen, enters the house, doesn't realize that that's a big mistake, and the only way for her to leave is to join the hunt, but she can only join the hunt if she's part of the Silver family. So in order to keep her alive, Rowan suggests to make a deal with her in which she has to marry him in order to enter the trial as his spouse, because if they win and convince everyone that they're in love, then her chances of surviving this whole trial and getting out of the house are bigger, and there's also a reward of the trial. It's giving a fun enemy to lovers in the beginning, but also Rowan is such an interesting MMC, and I love Genevieve. So far I've been really enjoying it. Let's keep on reading because I want to know how this ends because it's so much fun. Okay, I just finished a book. It took me 45 minutes, but oh my god, it is so good. I actually loved it more than Phantasma. I thought it was incredible. The games were so fun. Their story was so cute. I liked it because it was a little less gruesome like Phantasma, but it still had all the amazing gothic parts to it. 5 stars from me. I totally enjoyed this so much. I'm so excited about this. Okay, now we have to figure out what to read next. Okay, so now that I've finished Enchantra, I want to jump straight into the next one. I did enjoy the dark romance switch off from like a heavy fantasy book to then change it up to a bit more contemporary sci-fi book, but God of Malice has been all over my book talk, so I've been so curious to read this. But then I also kind of want to read more standalones, so I can suggest more standalones to you guys as well, because every now and then I find that after a really long series, especially if it's like incompleted or a really long completed series, I always find it's like really nice to switch it up with a little bit of like a standalone, so you have like a quick read and then you're open again for another series, because sometimes committing to a series, because a book series can just take so long. So it's either God of Malice or let me have a look what else I have been. There's so many. Oh my god. Okay, God of Malice is on it. Ooh. We also have Nocticadia, which I am desperate to read because I love Carrie Lake. Anathema was one of my favorite books of all times. Which one do I read now? I feel like I'm just so interested in this. I need to read this. So God of Malice it is. But also I'm starving, so I'm gonna order some food now. Normally I cook for lunch, but I feel like it's kind of late already and I'm really craving some sushi. Okay, I don't love the book cover, but let's get started.
Hello, boys. So far, so good.
Okay, I've just met our MMC. Mr. Oleon, I'm on page 41, so I'm only 7% in, and what a start. This is definitely a lot more triggered, definitely very adult, so definitely not a read for anyone younger. Definitely check trigger warnings. But I'm just so curious about, you know, dark romance and why people love it so much. So I definitely can't wait to read more about it and like more. I do like the psyche of people, so it's definitely interesting so far, but holy schmoly, we're in for a ride, I can already tell. So I just changed for dinner, but I spent the last few hours reading and I am currently on 55% on page 289. So far, I have to say, in the beginning it started out really rough and I was like, oh my god, but then I feel like you slowly, now I'm at a point where you can slowly see Killian's softer side come through, and you kind of like get to know him better as a person, even though his actions are completely not justifiable. There's something interesting where I think that's maybe why in a way toxic relationships just sometimes work for a lot longer than they should, just because you start seeing the good in the other person and you're trying to fight for that little ounce of goodness that they carry in them while they still don't treat you the way they're supposed to. It's definitely getting very interesting and I'm completely obsessed, cannot stop reading this. It feels like I'm watching an amazing college movie or TV show. I have to say in the beginning I was like, whoa, and some of the spice scenes I definitely have to beat it up because just like maybe a touch too much for me. But I always love to think about the psychological part of it a lot more. I find that always really interesting, especially with like complex characters. But yeah, like I said, 55%, so I can't wait to see what the other half's gonna bring. But I'm gonna go to dinner now and then I'm gonna try to read a few more pages before I go to bed. Back from dinner and I just finished God of Malice. I read it in a day because it's so unlike anything I've read before and I just feel like I needed to know what happens. I have to say the first few chapters I was literally like, what the hell? Like, how is this person going to redeem himself? Because holy moly. But then I think the reason I got really by it was just because the complexity of the characters, seeing why they are the way they are, why he is the way he is, which I think is just an interesting thing, because I think we always like, you kind of like sometimes underestimate how much of an impact your childhood trauma has on you in your later life. So I thought that was really interesting. But I like saying that I enjoyed this book feels wrong, but I definitely think it definitely was a good read. I get the hype now. Definitely want to read God of Wrath as well because I heard it's apparently amazing. Yeah, like I said, I read this and I just like finished it so quick just because it was just so good. Yeah, that was my day. I don't always read books that quickly and that in a day. Every now and then you come across a book that's just amazing that you cannot put down and you just want to know what happened. So yeah, this book definitely did that to me. Same as Enchantra. I absolutely loved Enchantra. It's time for bed now, and I hope you guys enjoyed my reading vlog. If you want me to do more of those, let me know. Subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you guys have read this book or what you guys think about dark romance, and if you have any more recommendations. But thank you guys for watching.